So, what do you think free speech is?
I think free speech is like if you're in like a hearing or something, then you should be able to like say all the facts that you know of and give the information that you've been given before you're like interrupted and like um, because like for instance if you're in a hearing people are going to try and interrupt you and prove you wrong or something, so I think that free speech is being able to say like giving the information that you have without being interrupted and trying to be proven wrong or right or something.
Yeah. So who has rights to free speech?
Well, in America, everybody has some degree of free speech. Not everybody in the world has free speech because there's different types of governments.
Okay, let's just say in America.
In
who has
America?
rights to free speech?
I think everybody has rights to free speech, no matter what their age. I think everybody should have the right to free speech because we're all Americans, and it shouldn't matter how old we are to say what we think.
Okay, so going off of that, should free speech be limited by anything? Like religion, nationality,
Definitely
gender?
not. Nope.
No?
Because, like, if you only limit it to free speech, then, like, say free speech was only given to black people, then how would we be able to say what needed to be done because we're white? So, like, if something goes wrong and, like, we're the only ones that know about it and the black people don't, I'm giving an example, then how could we get into, like, I don't really know where you go to tell people about it, but, like, court or something. I don't know. I don't know much about politics. But anyways, so how could we get in there and tell people about what's going wrong when they won't listen to us because we don't have free speech? So I think free speech should be given to everybody.
Okay. So what types of free speech are there?
What do you mean?
Because there are like some people who can't talk or they're deaf and they don't actually speak, like they sign. Well, like what types of like free speech are there? Like what's the first thing that comes to your mind when I say that?
Types of free speech like I said earlier, like giving the facts before you're interrupted, and I don't I don't exactly know what you mean.
Like free speech, like should you be like allowed to say anything that you want, or you don't necessarily have to talk with like verbally. You could like there could be something on your shirt, or actions speak louder than words. That's a kind of speech. So like, what kind of speech do you think there should be, or are?
Like for shirts, like or and actions, that I'm trying to think of a good way to word it. So, like if you're wearing a shirt that has something like religious on it, like I belong to this religion or something, then that kind of sends out that that you're part of that religion, and it's totally fine. But it just sends out that you're part of that religion, and that's really a type of free speech. Um, and then and I think the type of free speech that we do and don't have, like it's kind of a mixture, is being able to say whatever you want because there is a certain limit to how much you can say. Like if you're, say you're making comments about the president, just hypothetically, and you accidentally cross the line, then you will be stopped from talking in that way, because that's disrespectful to the president. But to a certain extent, we can talk that way, but there is a limit. And excuse me. And I think that's about it.
Okay. So, last couple questions. Should minors be treated the same way and be given that kind of the same speech, same free speech as adults? Just, a minor is anyone who is 19, 18 or younger.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I think minors, like, sure. I mean, I can't really think of a reason why you should have a right to speak what's on your mind.
Okay. So, last question. Why do you think free speech is so important?
I think free speech is important because, like, if there's a law we don't agree with, then if we don't agree with it, then we have to stand up and use our voices to fight for our rights. And sure, you're not going to go to the president with a gun and say, like, get rid of this, but we can use our words to help, like, do what's right. And if we don't have our voices, then we can't really do anything. I mean, like, sure, I know people can't talk, but they have sign language, and that's just as strong.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm.